When white settlers were moving across Michigan, they followed the dirt trails blazed by the indigenous people, who still walk the state. These narrow pathways sliced through the Michigan forest and fields and were dubbed the Sauk, St. Joseph, or Grand River Trail. However, when the settlers traveled, they often had a team of oxen, a wagon, or a horse or two, and the footpath just wouldn't do. As best we know, the first plank roads were concocted in the 1840s. Michigan jumped into the game very early. The state legislature granted road charters, but after a few years, the requests became so numerous, the requirements were soon tossed aside. Plank roads, timber sawed into planks between 8 and 16 feet long, were laid across wooden stringers and create a smooth road surface, or at least that was the plan. We have this plank road diagram on display at the Williamston Depot Museum. As was said about the improvement at the time, the travelers traded king mud for king plank. Act number 132, approved March 20th, 1850, the state incorporated the Lansing and Howell Plank Road Company with a capital stock of $60,000. The Detroit to Howell Plank Road would connect, and both would follow the Grand River Trail. Investors made their money by charging a toll. Every 5 or 6 miles, a toll booth was set up, and depending on your load, on horseback, with a carriage, or driving a team with a wagon, you were charged a penny or two. The plan was for the tolls to cover the cost of the initial construction while providing yearly profits for the investors. Well, what happened was that the wooden planking didn't last as long as predicted, and the constant maintenance costs became prohibitive. After some years, gravel was dumped onto the planking as part of an inexpensive repair process, which eventually covered the wooden surface. Dr. Philip Mason, esteemed Wayne State University historian, noted that Michigan had plans for 202 plank roads for 5,082 miles, but construction only created 89 roads for 1,179 miles. Mason also wrote King Plank in rural areas was called a farmer's railroad, as it was hoped their existence would reduce railroad freight fees. In Williamston, the Spaulding House Hotel on the northwest corner of Grand River and Putnam Street was erected around 1851 to capitalize on the plank road craze and remained in operation for the next 3 decades. And just a few years ago, road construction crews unearthed some of the plank road at the corner of Zimmer and Grand River west of Williamston. How effective were the plank roads? Most people would agree they were an improvement over king mud, but by how much? Maybe famed American novelist Mark Twain put it best when asked about his ride over a Michigan plank road. It would have been good if some unconscionable scoundrel had not now and then dropped a plank across it. So there you have it. I am Mitch Lutzke. See you around.